Hey guys, welcome back to Take 10. Introducing me, my name is Hale. I'm from Mishawaka, Indiana. I go to school at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, and I love flowers, drawing, and dogs. Hey guys, Sissy Girl and I are back to do our usual little icebreaker. So I've got my hat with a fun fact about Sissy and a question for us. Okay. Sissy loves my mom and hates when she can't see her. If my mom goes to the backyard and doesn't let Sissy follow her out there, she leaves her inside, Sissy will cry. She'll do this really sad little doggy whimper. She just loves my mom a lot. They're very close. And then for us, what is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? So go ahead and turn and tell a partner, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? For me, it was a raspberry flavored Kit Kat, like the little chocolate bars, but the whole thing tasted like raspberry. And it was from Japan. My best friend had went and visited Japan and she brought it back with her. And it was just so odd. It's not unusual for people to mix chocolate and raspberry, but the whole thing was super strongly raspberry flavored. So that was weird. It wasn't bad, it was just weird. I'm sure you guys have eaten some very weird things though, and I wish I could have heard them. It's always a fun question. But okay, we're gonna get going now, and we'll jump back into the video. Okay, ground rules. When you practice Take 10, you need to use these rules, plus the rules of whatever place that you're currently in. So our rules are, number 1, everyone has the right to speak. Number 2, no one must speak. 3, everyone must listen. 4, no put-downs and no name-calling. 5, disagree on issues but don't attack people. 6, agree to disagree. And 7, keep a sense of humor at all times. Okay, last time I asked you to try and remember trading perspectives. So a perspective, that was a person's point of view. It's made up of your thoughts, feelings, opinions, experiences. And then trading perspectives is looking at a conflict from another person's point of view, or from another person's perspective. So it's like, these glasses are my perspective, and it's like if we switched them so that you could see what I see and I can see what you see. Of course, you can't really do that though. What this requires is really careful thought. You have to be really considerate of the other person. We need to do this because everybody sees conflict differently and reacts differently. However, it helps that we all have the same basic needs. So even if we see it differently and react differently, on some level, we do understand each other, and it's important to remember that. Okay. I also want to talk just really briefly about empathy. Empathy means understanding how someone else feels. So I'm asking you to try and trade perspectives with other people and try and see the world how they do, because it'll help you get through a conflict easier. But that isn't an easy thing to do. You have to have a lot of empathy. It requires listening and really just thinking hard about it, trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand them. So we're gonna watch a little example of what empathy is and what it looks like, but it's basically the thing that's gonna make it easier to trade perspectives with people. And if you guys remember, I have a big crush on Mark Ruffalo. So this guy here in the video, that's the guy I have the crush on. Okay, let's watch.
Hello, I'm Mark.
And I'm Murray.
And we're here to tell you about the word empathy.
Empathy, yes! Empathy!
Tell them about the word empathy. What's wrong?
You're not gonna believe this, Mark.
What?
But I can't remember what empathy means.
No, that's okay. I'll tell them what empathy means.
Oh, boy! This is so exciting! Mark Ruffalo is gonna tell us about empathy! Don't oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
Can I do it?
Go, please, go for it, Mark.
All right. Empathy is when you're able to understand and care about how someone else is feeling.
Oh, right. That's what empathy is.
Yes.
I don't get it.
What?
Sorry.
Okay. Let me see if I can explain it to you in some way.
Okay, I'm gonna listen.
Let's say I'm walking along and
What?
I stubbed my toe. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, you poor thing,
Murray.
Oh,
Murray.
that hurts. I
It
can
hurts
imagine
so much.
exactly how you feel.
That's
Ouch.
it.
Oh, wow, what's it?
That's it. That's empathy.
What's empathy?
You could imagine exactly how I feel. You could understand just how it felt. That's empathy.
I still don't get it.
What?
I still don't get it.
Okay. Let's think of another way.
Okay, let's think of another way. Thinking.
Oh, Murray,
What?
did I tell you about that time when I lost my favorite teddy bear?
Oh, no.
It was...
This is very sad. Did you love that teddy bear?
I
Mark?
loved that teddy bear.
Oh, I can imagine exactly how you feel. It's really sad feeling. It makes me want to cry like this.
It was sad. It was so sad. But you know what?
What?
You know what empathy is.
I do?
That was empathy.
What?
You could understand how I was feeling, exactly how I was feeling, and understood it. That's empathy.
I get it now. Yes! Yes, I get it!
Yes.
I understand
yes.
empathy!
You understand empathy,
I'm
Murray.
so happy right now!
I'm
it
happy
makes me want
too.
to dance the dance of happiness!
I can imagine exactly how you feel. I want to dance the dance of happiness too.
Then what are we waiting for?
Let's do
dance!
Empathy!
Okay, so that's what empathy is. It's being able to understand how other people feel. And if you'll notice, what the monster was doing was just listening. So that's kind of fits into with Take 10, right? You know, one of the options is to talk it out. But it's not just you talking, right? The other person talks it out too. So when you're listening to them talk it out and they're listening to you talk it out, if you're a really good listener, you might be able to use empathy and understand how they're feeling. And then when you understand how they're feeling, what you've really done is you've traded perspectives, right? So what do we do then when we've used empathy, maybe by talking it out, and we understand how they're feeling, we've successfully traded perspectives? What's next? So, showing empathy. Why is empathy an important part of trading perspectives with the people you're in conflict with? I did kind of just say this, so hopefully you remember, or at least it makes sense enough to you that you can figure it out. Go ahead and turn and talk with a partner real quick and tell them, why is empathy an important part of trading perspectives? And then right after this, we will talk about what to do next. Okay. Empathy is an important part of trading perspectives with the people you're in conflict with, because then you understand them better. And when you understand them better, you can find better solutions and you can move on to doing some more problem solving with them. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense how this is all coming together. Let's talk more about that next step. Trading perspectives again. Once you understand and see their side, which comes from talking it out and using empathy and trading perspectives, there will be a lot of new ways to fix things. Before you understood them, it might feel like there are very few ways to fix things. You might feel like the only option is to just run away or have a fight or something. But once you talk it out or some other form of Take 10, and you really think through and you understand how they feel, you use empathy, then you can trade perspectives. And suddenly you understand them. You know what they want and what they need and how they feel about the situation. Suddenly you've got a whole bunch of new options for how to solve the problem. And that's awesome, right? We don't want to have to pick through only 2 or 3 really bad options for how to solve a problem. We would love to have a ton of options. That way we can pick the absolute best one. So this kind of goes back to the problem-solving steps, when eventually we have to choose a solution. These are some options that open up once you've done all this and you've traded perspectives. You could ask the other person what they need, agree to disagree, compromise, apologize, or do something else to make things right. So if you remember the story I told last time about when I disagreed with my professor about a rule that had to affect a group of students, what did we end up doing? Do you remember? We decided to agree to disagree. That's one of the options that we had once we understood each other. If I didn't understand what she was thinking and feeling, if I hadn't shown empathy and traded perspectives with her, I probably wouldn't have been ready to agree to disagree because I didn't understand her. So it's really important to trade perspectives so that these new options for how to solve the problem open up. And that's a lot of times how we get to the best option available. So, which one of these have you used after trading perspectives with somebody? Surely there's been a time, right, when you had a conflict with somebody, but you listened to them and you showed empathy, and you were able to trade perspectives and finally understand them. So what came next for you guys? Did you ask the other person what they need? Agree to disagree? Compromise, like meet in the middle? Apologize, or make things right? Teachers, feel free to pause the video so that students have a minute or two to discuss this one, and then come back. Okay, so hopefully you guys could think of an example of a conflict you had where you were able to trade perspectives and then suddenly you had a new, better option because you understood each other better. This is a very good thing. It's good that you might have had a past experience with this, and even if not, now that you know about how to use empathy and how to trade perspectives, hopefully you'll get this in the future. Just a whole bunch of brand new, better options for solving problems. Okay, now we are going to do a journal activity. This one is called In Their Shoes. And let me read the instructions. Try to remember a conflict you had recently. If you can't think of one, remember one you heard a story about or saw on TV and pretend to be one of the people involved. You have to pick one person. So, describe the situation from your perspective. What happened to you? How did it make you feel? Express your emotions. And then, it may be hard, but now try to describe the other person's perspective. What happened to them? How did it make them feel? Why might they feel that way? And then finally, conflicts are often caused by people not getting what they need. What did you need? What did they need? Can you think of a way to make sure you both get what you need? So, the idea here is that we are talking it out with ourselves and understanding how we feel and what we need and want. And then we're going to use empathy and trade perspectives and think about what happened to them, what they need and what they want. And then once we've got all that information, we're on to problem solving, right? But first we're acknowledging needs because that's kind of the problem we're solving. We need to make sure everybody's needs are met. So we identify the needs and then we come up with solutions. That's the problem solving steps. All right, I will show my example real quick and then I want you guys to jump into this. I know there's a lot of words, don't worry, I will read them. So, describe the situation from your perspective. What happened to you? How did it make you feel? Express your emotions. So I wrote, my 16-year-old brother was chewing his gum with his mouth open for the millionth time. I hate that sound, so I asked him to stop. He gave me a mean look and then whispered, no, I won't. His headphones were in, so he didn't realize it was loud enough for me to hear him say. So that's what happened to me, and that's how I felt. So now, it may be hard, but try to describe the other person's perspective. What happened to them? How did it probably make them feel, and why? So if I was my brother, he was watching some TV show on his tablet. It probably surprised him when I said something. With his headphones in, he probably couldn't hear the gross noises he was making with his gum. He also probably didn't realize that I could hear him. Maybe he wouldn't have said that if he did. Okay, so that's how he probably feels. I'm using empathy to try and understand how the other person feels. That's trading perspectives. And then conflicts are often caused by people not getting what they need. What did you need? What did they need? Can you think of a way to make sure that you both get what you need? So we're identifying needs, and then we are going through all the problem-solving steps right here. So that day, I needed to have a quiet lunch because I was stressed out about work, and I needed a break. And he probably needed me to be more understanding and patient because, his headphones were in, he couldn't even hear anything. So next time, I will ask him to take his headphones out first and be more nice and patient about it. That's the solution I'm choosing. Okay, this one's gonna take a little while, but I promise being able to work through this is like a superstar activity, right? This combines things that we've been working on in the last 3 lessons. So take your time and take it seriously, because if you got this, then you are doing so good in Take 10 right now. Okay, let's move on. So real quick, what I want you to remember for next time, once you understand after you've used empathy and traded perspectives, you can try and fix things. You can ask the other person what they need, agree to disagree, compromise, apologize, or try to make things right. These are new options that you didn't have before you understood them. But now that you've used empathy and traded perspectives, all these options have opened up and you've got better options now to solve your problem. Okay, try and remember these and get started on that worksheet. Please take it seriously and work really hard through it. It's kind of like everything from the last 3 chapters. I believe in you guys. You've been doing so good. Okay, I will see you next time.